Hey, spuddies, Potatomcwhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 5 as Sweden. So we can see here, we got an event in Aquasasm. An event was held in your stadium, and again, 500 tourism with all known civilization and 500 gold. Excellent. So we're going to build more stadiums if we can. Looks like there's some bad dudes coming this way. Do I have an infantry that I could maybe swing over here to help out? I think I do. Promote a unit, go ahead and take the, special forces, eh? Go ahead and take the Trailblazer and the... Do you have to be in the city to power drop? We'll send you over there to see if you can do anything about that. What if you popped out of the city to give him a flanking bonus? There we go. You can pop back in the city now. And let's see. Attack there. So let's have a look at our demographics now. Look at that. I'm number 1 crop yield, number 1 manufactured goods, number 1 GNP, number 1 in everything. The only thing I'm not number 1 in is population, but, you know, never say never. Hum pa pa pum pum pa 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 pa. You come over this way. You go this way. Next turn. And we'll go into our next turn. Okay. Oh, Elizabeth completed the Manhattan Project. Ooh, everyone's getting nuke happy now. Scary. Also, we're having another epic Rome turn. So I guess I should probably tell a story or something. Well, there once was a lad named Billy who so badly wanted oh, wait, no, that's not appropriate for YouTube. Never mind. Let's talk about something else. I'm actually kind of building stadiums in a lot of cities right now, and I was building those for happiness, but it seems like that happiness problem has kind of gone away. I mean, I'm not against making stadiums because they do give golden age points, so it's not the end of the world if I do finish them. Out of curiosity, how close is there a way to like track victory progress in Civ 5? I've never really cared about it because I usually just win my games anyway, and I never like look, oh, has somebody launched, you know, XYZ space parts or whatever? Usually I just like, yeah, I'm going to win. I know I'm going to win. And I don't even worry about it. Whereas I kind of like in Civ 6 that you get such a granular view of like, oh, this person is this close to winning and he's completed these objectives and he's got this much more to go. And it's like, oh, I got to do something before this turn or I'm in trouble. And it's like, ooh. Okay, screen. I know I clicked over here about 30 seconds ago, but you didn't actually have to take me over here. I appreciate the effort, but I don't think you actually, I don't think you actually needed to do that. It looks like Rome is actually fighting something. I see some damage numbers over there, which is interesting. I wonder if that's a nuke in his city, or if it's a bomber. It could be either, but it looks like he basically completely conquered the entirety of the Americas. This is my life right now. Just sitting here waiting for this processing turn for Rome to go through. So, how about airline food, eh? That was like that thing, right? You know, where like comedians, there's like this concept in when you're like an artist or you're a comedian or you're like a musician or whatever, if you're being really like, there's this like dangerous aspect to success where what you're creating about is no longer relatable to your audience. And I think that can actually happen when you're playing on YouTube. But anyway, the point is that like, you ever notice that like, there's this thing that happens to like all people who perform or do anything like that, where they get to a certain level where they're so busy that they don't actually get to live a life anymore. And then everything they create is about this new life of traveling, of meeting new people, of all these like, you know, not getting connections with people. But nobody can relate to that because that's a thing that only happens to successful people. So it's almost like they become so successful that they can't actually make anything new anymore because they just don't have time to actually live a life. And it was a really interesting thing. I can't remember where I heard people talking about that, but it was basically the concept of like road albums. Apparently albums written on the road or on tour are some of the worst albums. That's why a lot of people recommend, like if you're in a band or something and you guys do find success, like just take a certain amount of time in between tours and just live your life and then make music. Because if you just keep making music, you might keep selling and you might keep making money, but it's gonna be it's not gonna be your best stuff, and you might alienate your audience. Oh my God, Rome, finish your turn already. Jesus H Christ. I've already talked about a few different things at this point. I'm running out of material, man. I can't just make stuff up at random. I mean, I can, but it's, I shouldn't have to. You should just finish your turn now. Come on, Rome. I wonder what's causing this. This is a very interesting little thing. I did say that I was tempted to end the series if this happened too much, and it is starting to happen with a bit too much of a regularity, which is kind of annoying me, and I don't want to cut it out because I just believe in unedited, my personal philosophy is in unedited raw gameplay. I think there's times for editing. I think there's time for edited content. But my particular way of playing is I like to do stream of consciousness type gameplay where I just play the game and I'm talking constantly. But I'm going to put my foot in this. I'm going to put my foot down here. If this happens again, the episode that it happens in, I'm just going to call it. I'm going to say that's it. We're not going to finish this game because it's. I think it's too detrimental to not only my experience, which is affecting my commentary, but also the experience of just watching the series. We've been looking at a blank screen essentially for 4 or 5 minutes there, which is not acceptable for a Let's Play. Now, I mean, it's not the game's fault or it's not the mod's fault. It's somewhat my fault due to the settings that I used, but I think that doesn't really change the fact that it's just not good enough for what I want to be doing. Okay, we got a medical lab in here. That's going to make us pretty happy. I think we do want a police station. We also want a recycling center. Ooh, Sydney Opera House here. Let's see. 1 free social policy and 25% culture in the city. Contains 2 great works of writing, or great works of music. Must be constructed in a coastal city. And plus 15 culture if themed. Now, 25% culture isn't a whole lot considering my base is that much. So what I'm probably going to do, the free social policy is a lot though. What would I pick up if I did that? It would be commerce raiders, quantity of strategic resources is increased by 100%, unit gold maintenance costs reduced by 25%, plus 25% production towards building land units, war score increased more quickly, and it's easier to bully city-states. Plus 25% attack bonus for 50 turns, war weariness reduced by 25%, and raising speed is doubled. Corporate franchises count in double in the cities of civilizations that you're at least popular with. Does not account against global franchise maximum. I think I'm going to go for the third alternative here because that'll reduce my unit maintenance. So, you know what? I think I might go for the Sydney Opera House here instead of the Hubble Space Telescope. And I might build the Hubble Space Telescope over here in Sigunta. So we'll move you over there. Choose production here. You got your stadium. Let's see. Why don't you get a nuclear power plant? Because you're about to be building some stuff in Sigunta. We've got 5 turns until robotics, so you may as well get that boosted. National Visitor Center, plus 25%. The population increases based on the number of cities you own. I'll think about it. Let's have a look here. Boredom. Get the zoo and the museum. Let's choose production over here. We got a stock exchange. We got boredom here too as well. Go ahead and get me a stadium. Pretty please. Get the opera house first. Choose production. A stock exchange. Yes, perhaps it would be a good move to get a stadium as well. And over here we got happiness. I want to try and reduce the boredom because the more boredom you have in your empire, the more tourism pressure other people get with you. And I don't want people to get me. I put 11 nays on the travel ban, and I will put 11 nays on the spaceflight regulations. and see how that turns out. Spaceflight regulations, whatever. I don't care if you even put them in, because I'm pretty sure I can still win. And... yes, I believe we were going to attempt to defeat these guys. You start shooting them. But we're going to have to come back around a little bit. Like so. As shall you comes this way. And so shall you. And we'll take on Constantinople. Now we got a bunch of bonus yields, which are all totally fine. There's also a discovering of a barbarian encampment, which we don't really care about. Elizabeth has completed the Manhattan Project. And I also want another one of these over here. Shoot the city. Excellent. And we have some great engineers. We'll put them to sleep. Go forward. Cause some issues for them. We will pillage. What's the pillage hotkey? Shift P. Ugh. Fortifying the city. Just go to sleep for a minute. You can come along. Unit needs orders. Caravan. Establish a trade route in the name of production. Please. Onondaga is a good choice. And unit needs orders. Atomic bomb. You can go to sleep. And we'll go into our next turn. Excellent. Your aircraft gun was damaged by bombarded. Ugh. How dare you bombard me? That is rude and unacceptable in terms of your behavior. Rome. Alright, that's it. Rome. You've killed this series, I'm afraid. Because this is just unacceptable. I'll finish out this episode, but I think this is going to be the finale. It's just not... I don't think it's playable. I don't think it's fair to play the game like this. For me or for the audience. It's too much. It really is. It's been a really interesting series. A lot of really cool stuff has happened. But I think in the interest of... Like, this is going to drag on to like 50 episodes if I do this. I think in the interest of just getting on with it, getting on to the next series, we're going to call it here. We're nearly 40 episodes in already, and this series is going nowhere fast. I think I should have probably called it a long time ago, but I'm just going to call it now because it's honestly, like I said, it's just not fair to the audience. It's just not fair to me. And I know it's also not fair to like end a series like this, but what else can I do, you know? Like, I don't think this is a reasonable way to have a game play. And I don't think this is fun for me or the viewer. And I frankly just don't want to deal with it because it's a pain in the ass. That's like, do I need any more justifications? I can keep listing them. If you need more, I'll tell you more. I think it was a really interesting game to see how far you can really take Civ 5 in terms of like just how many civilizations and just how many cities you can get into a game if you use a really big map, and just how weird the game can get in terms of how those civilizations and cities kind of place themselves on the map. Like, we had a really interesting world and we basically just conquered all of it. Well, I mean, that's what you do, right? You find something really cool and then you just like kill it. It's like, haha, I'm the victor of this thing now. I do think the Earth map is a very interesting map. I think it has some major flaws that may never be addressed just because of the nature of the map. But you know, I don't think I overall hated this game. I think I enjoyed this series. I think it was a lot of fun. I think it was a really I don't want to say like intellectually, because that just makes me sound really pretentious. But it was like interesting to see. Just how things can go, you know, how wrong or how badly things can go when, you know, things don't necessarily go the way that you're hoping, or, for example, when, you know, just unintended consequences of some of the decisions that you made with regards to the setup of the game. There's... Like, I don't want to... Like, I feel a little bit frustrated that this is the way it has to go, but I'm not too cut up about it. I think the reality is this is just the way it had to be. That this series was too big, too cumbersome, too strange. Like 37 episodes is already like far beyond what I would want to do for a series. I like my series to be somewhere between 15 and 20 episodes, and that just doesn't seem to be possible when you're playing a map like this. So I think I'm going to start sticking to maybe more standard Pangea maps, smaller in scope, smaller in scale, playing around with some different strategies, seeing if we can do some timing pushes, all that sort of stuff, execute some strategies. But yeah, I just don't know. I just don't think this is I don't think this is a reasonable way to play the game, because we're spending like a third of our time just looking at the same screen, and that's not interesting to the player, to me, the player, visually or from a mentally stimulating perspective of actually playing the game. And it's also not interesting to the viewer in terms of a visual experience or in a mental experience, because nothing's changing. All you're hearing is my voice change, and you're probably hearing a little bit of a frustration and a little bit of sadness in my voice that I have to give up this series, because I've been threatening to give up this series due to these issues. But I think at this point, I think it's become a necessary sacrifice to make. I do think I learned a lot from this series, mostly about how strong Sweden is in the right circumstances, because goddamn, they are really strong in the right circumstances. Particularly being able to faith by great generals with their ability is amazing. You can just like take a bunch of damage, boom, great general, keep your push going, and all your units get level ups and all that stuff. It's so good. They're really, 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 really good. But I think that's going to be that. I think that's going to be it. I'm probably going to I'm not even going to wait for this turn to end. I'm probably just going to hit the stop recording button here in a little bit. But I want to know what your thoughts are on this series. Like, overall, what did you think? How did you think it went? I am sad to have to end it like this, but I want to know, what did you guys take away from this series? Because I feel like I learned a lot from this series, not only as a player of Civilization 5 and the Vox Populi Mod, but also as like an actual like content creator and YouTuber, like actually making videos. I learned a lot about how to power through awkward moments, how to pace my content correctly, how to actually make a game work for me with regards to making content. Like, this is obviously a series that doesn't lend itself well to a Let's Play. This would be much better for somebody to play it in their own time, this particular series, where, there isn't this time pressure to try and service an audience. And I just don't think the way I set this game up was really built for that. And I think it really showed in the content, and the content suffered a little bit for it. But I think sometimes you have to make things that are not so great, because it helps you, when you make something bad, you can like identify what it was about it, and like you have somewhere to start to try to dissect all the problems. And once you dissect all the problems, you can start to implement you can start to implement all the conclusions and ideas that you drew from that consciously into your next work. So it's always this like consistent improvement. And I do feel like I learned a lot of really valuable things about making better content from this series. But yeah, just due to the fact of Rome being Rome, I don't know what's causing this. I wish I did know. I think it's because, I think he's at war with a bunch of different people, and he just has a bajillion units going on, and I think that's what's causing the problem, and he's like planning out all the unit moves or something. I'm pretty sure that's what's causing it, and I don't think it's reasonable to continue the way we've been continuing. I think it's time that we just kind of let this series take its toll. I'll kind of go around the map and we can look at some tile yields before we exit out, because that's always interesting, Like, look at all these. My God. That's pretty crazy. I mean, it's really interesting. I didn't hate this game. I thought it was reasonably fun. I thought it was very enjoyable. I think I would like to play... I would really love to make a game like this work, where you have a lot of civilizations and you have a lot of different things and all that sort of stuff. But I think it just didn't really work out for me this time. Like, we have tons of production and stuff like that, but it just didn't work. For whatever reason. I felt like we had done really well considering our skill level at the game, considering the situations that we were in and all that sort of stuff. But I think that's going to be it for me. That's going to be it for this series, and that's going to be it for this episode. Again, I really want to thank you guys so much for sticking with this series all the way to the end. I'm really sorry that we couldn't finish it, but I think I have to just face the reality that I can make better stuff than this, and this is distracting me from making that better stuff. So I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.